Welcome back to the Customer Success Festival APAC. I hope you enjoyed the event so far. Before we dive into the next session, again, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all partners and speakers. We cannot do this without you. If you really like the content, please subscribe to our CSC membership, where you can get loads of templates, framework, on-demand videos, and be able to rewatch all the presentation sessions for this event. So head over to customsuccesscollective.com and treat yourself there. So sit back, and here's the next session. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Customer Success Festival APAC. I hope you enjoy our event so far. And then it's my honor to present you our next speaker, the head of customer success and marketing from dhk.com. And Sarah here will present on B2B customer success, the roadmap to an engaged, successful, and happy customer. Hi, Sarah. How are you? Are you still here with us?
Yes, Ryan, I'm here. I just turned off my camera for connection reasons.
Sounds great. All right, the stage is yours now. Please feel free to take it from here. We look forward to it.
Alrighty, thank you.
Sounds
I'll be
great.
taking it from here. Okay. Hi, everyone. A big thank you for everyone who joined this session. I'm very excited about this opportunity because this is like a big looking back into the past road that me and my team has taken over the years. So here's it's like a workshop under the theme of the roadmap to an engaged, successful, and happy customer. And apparently the keywords in this topic, there are two. One is the roadmap, because we're trying to share experience on how we map out the whole journey. And the second is engaged, successful, happy. Actually, the only key is successful, because when you have a successful customer, they definitely will stay engaged and happy. Those two traits just follow along naturally. So this, welcome again to this session. The first of all is like inviting everyone to take a peek into almost like my diary and my past. This is the situation that me and my team faced about 2 years ago. That is when we as a team took on the assignment for customer success. This is a newly staffed team coming from different backgrounds. We have people from marketing backgrounds, from customer service, but as a team, we were really new. And as a new team, we were given VIP accounts, which are the most contributive in terms of revenue and other type of metrics. And our clients are B2B wholesale, which means these are not just normal individuals and consumers. They are wholesale business decision makers. And the fourth is, we're not there to investigate or just to do researches. We take on the objective of advancing the growth of these VIP accounts. So I still clearly remember back in the days when we were brainstorming, and these are some of the questions my team and I mapped out on the whiteboard. So facing this challenge to advance growth for our VIP accounts, who are definitely businesses, but the questions are, who are they? And because there are a huge number of this space, who should we start with? And what challenges and resources are we faced with? And how would I leverage those resources to craft a strategy? And the last part is, how can we make sure that, is everyone able to see? Okay, all right. I'm just seeing some comments there. And the last of the questions is, how are we making sure that the strategies that we worked are really, really useful and the customers are actually buying into our idea? So this is a peek into the dilemma and the challenge that we took on back in the days. And with that, these are the three basic topics I will be sharing with everyone today. The first is a quick look into the company that I'm working for, which is dhk.com, who we are, what we do, and who our clients are. And the second is a breakdown of understanding the ups and downs and in and out about our customers. And the third is the roadmap, the how we define our B2B customer roadmap. A quick note is that actually there will not be sophisticated modules in this. There will not be a lot of analytical tools, and there will not be any jargons related to this topic. What we're doing here is hoping that we can use about 20 minutes to really share sincerely about what DHgate, we as a company, did with the B2B clients. And hopefully some of the experiences can be really referable for our audience. If you are like a company with really high tech, with their full system, probably this is not the session for you. But if you come from a more startup environment, and you don't have a lot of tools, but you still want to try to win the journey of customer success, then probably this is a session that we can exchange a lot of ideas. So a little about me. My name is Sarah, and currently I'm from the company called DHgate. Before DHgate, my background basically come from financial analysis. That was the very, very first experience I took on professionally. So I was dealing with a lot of Excels and data analysis. And after that, it was business development and marketing communications. And about 2 years ago, I took on the new role of customer success and totally fell in love with it. Within DHgate, I also rotationed through multiple markets, including US as well as Southeast Asia. And now I'm covering mainly the US and Mexico district because that is our main target. And in addition to my profession, I also care about customer success, of course, and entrepreneurship and e-commerce, as well as women leadership and empowerment. Is everyone still able to see? Because I'm still seeing some questions from the audience that they cannot hear anything.
Let me know. I think so good. Okay. I think it's just with just Catherine, I'll taking care from here, but it seems so good to me.
Okay, alrighty.
Right.
So back to, thank you, Ryan. So back to DHgate. So who we are. If I give the definition about DHgate being an e-commerce marketplace, then a lot of people would compare us to, oh, you guys are Amazon or you're Alibaba, but actually we're drastically different. The main reason is we are actually targeting a very, very different and niche clientele. So far we have, after about 16 years of development since 2004, we're now the largest B2B cross-border e-commerce marketplace, originated in China. And now we have 25 million live listings on the marketplace with 36 million wholesale and individual buyers, which are our customers. And we have developed from just a marketplace with listings into a full ecosystem. We have our own payment services, logistics, marketing cloud, etc., and stretching over 30 product categories. Everything consumer product that you touched on basically can be found on the platform. And our customers, this is really important to point out because they are very, very unique because we are B2B. So our customers have some sort of wholesale feature. The main profiles are online wholesale websites. These are the people that create their own websites and selling wholesale. And we also have a lot of offline distributors. You see them running the shops in downtown wholesale market. I'm sure everybody has seen shops like this in their lives. And also we have individuals. For example, we used to have a team member who used to be a customer at DHgate, and she shopped wholesale of wedding like plates and napkins, etc. So that's also a wholesale client, even though he's an individual. So those three very important features that I wanted to highlight here is these are businesses, although they're not corporates, but these are businesses, and their decision-making process is very, very rational. What they mainly look at is the price and, of course, the service. And for these people, we are the supply chain service provider. So there is actually a very high switching cost if they decide to use another supplier. But this is also another risk factor because this means that once they make a switch, they won't easily come back. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. So these are the customers that we were dealing with. And then we decided to look at our customers at a closer level. So understand the ups and downs and in and out. On the top of this slide, you will see a normally described a customer journey. You start building awareness, and then your customer will start to consider you. They purchase your product, you onboard them, and they implement your service and product. And then you retain them. And somehow magically, they would just start growing and growing and grow harder. That's kind of like the roadmap that I've seen in many cases, in books, articles, etc. But we've noticed that this is actually not the case. What type of customers you usually get might be is a graph underneath. You start with a very excited customer when they're just onboarded. They are super collaborative. They want to know everything. And in their implementation stage, they start to get a little bit hesitant and unsure and not knowing what to do. And a lot of them, of course, will thrive and stay into the retention stage where they're like, we're cool, we're happy with the products, but we're not really growing. And some of them, a very small portion of them, might find difficulties using our services or products. And they feel frustrated, and there are conflicts, there are complaints that are not resolved. And there, the heartbeat stops. The client leaves our company. So here is kind of like a sense I would like to really share, and hopefully can be resonated, is that it is a very, very big lesson for us that we understand that our clients don't usually go all the way up. It's a very volatile process. And acknowledging that there are clients that will go through the process of ups and downs is very critical when we craft our strategy. So once we realized that, then we started to ask ourselves further questions about who our clients really are. Many of us are able to give that question, but we will stop at the second question is, how do they define success? For us, price seems to be like the answer for us, but for our customers, price is only one of the factors. And getting a price would mean that they can hire margin because they're wholesaler, they do this middleman broker thing. So that's how they define success, which is actually very different from our own understanding. And the third question is, how are they using your products and why are they using it? What problems are your products really solving here? And additionally, who else is also eyeing for your customers? So with these, thank you, Kirby. I will be sharing that later. Please remind me after the presentation. And after that, we started our further investigation. Remember, our challenge back in the days is to advance growth for our VIPs. So for our VIPs, I think this is common across a lot of companies, is we have the VIP tiers. For us, we have from 0 all the way to 6. And the higher level you are, it means that this VIP member has a larger accumulative VIP revenue contribution, basically to spend more money in our company. However, we noticed that by understanding that level, it doesn't really tell us much about what to do or how to approach the VIP members. So here is a very, very basic segmentation and breakdown. When we divided, or I should say, we turned our customer contribution into an equation and divided into high contributing VIPs versus the low. And among the high, we further it down into high, and they're also active, versus the high contributing, but they haven't been really active, which is inactive. And similarly for the low contributing VIPs. And as you can see, there is like a very simple matrix in the left corner of the presentation. The reality will be a little bit more complex because we have like data analytics team with us, but this is basically the mindset that we dive into. And we quickly, through this breakdown, we noticed that the high contributive VIPs, but have been relatively inactive, they actually make up a large proportion of the revenues that we're making. So they're actually really critical. And because they're inactive, this means that they urgently need our help. They're leaving us, but we are not paying much attention because all of the VIPs are VIP level 6 or 5. They're all important. So this matrix really helps us understand what the code red is about. We defined it as our high contributing VIPs, but have been inactive recently. And this actually would do us a lot of good back in the days because we realized that when these VIP members turning inactive, they're holding some complaints in their heart. There's something that we're not satisfying them. So they're actually very verbal. And because of the critical value, knowing how to bring them back would really help us develop a fuller roadmap of our customers. So here at the bottom is another takeaway that we took from this case is that the VIP levels tells you about the past, but this simple and easy segmentation tells you how to approach different type of your customers with different approaches. Very easy example is when your customer is highly active and they're also contributing a lot, like a growing trend, they can be your brand evangelist. Regardless of their current VIP status, they are the one that will speak up for you. We already know who we're going to go first, which are the really high-level VIPs that have been inactive. The next step we took is to have a win-back strategy. But before that, we really dived into them and try to connect with them, interview them to get to know what exactly is going on that caused the leaving. Because previously we already said, a lot of these wholesale people, once they make a decision to switch suppliers, they will not come back. And this is actually true to many types of organizations as well. For example, if you're a SaaS service provider, once your client makes the decision to switch to another tool, it's very hard to bring them back. So at this stage, of course, we're trying to bring them back, but the critical element here is to understand what is going on behind them. And here, our takeaway is they don't actually tell you 100% straightforward about the reason that they're leaving. Customers don't usually leave just because of one incident or one complaint. There usually is a systematic solution. But even when you think you are developing issues or looking at it at a systematic level, actually it may not be the case. For example, we did a lot of interviews. Me, myself, personally made over 200 phone calls. And this is what we found. When customers tell us, I don't really receive a discount anymore, and it seems like it can be fixed if I offer more promotions and discounts and coupons. But actually what they mean is your prices are not competitive enough. However, if we want to solve the overall price competitiveness issues, we will have to take a further look at the over 36 million products listed on our platform. That is a huge, huge project. So we dived a little further, we listened closer, and we realized what it means is that for a customer, it needs really competitive price to succeed. Because in addition to price, there are a lot of other cost factors for the wholesaler. So what they're really saying here is the price actually didn't change much. But since COVID broke out, logistics went crazy. It's 4 times its usual price. So what they're saying is they cannot find a good logistic partner to ship their products. So their logistics shipping, the shipping costs went up too much. They want to find a better carrier to bring the cost down. And if we couldn't offer that solution, they have to find it somewhere else. So that is actually the message we got, totally different than what the customer is actually saying. And similarly, when they told us that, oh, I had an order that was delayed, so I'm not happy with the experience. So it seems like we should improve our logistics tracking system. But it really is, what we look down into the resurface and realize that what they really need is because a lot of these wholesalers are not professional import-export professional. They don't know how to deal with the customer clearance. They don't even know what a process is like. So they need a lot of guidance and education. That's a much easier fix than developing an improved logistic tracking system. And of course, the idea is reinforced when the customers say, I want new products. We already have 36 million and the number is growing every day. How many more do you need? So it seems like we should improve our marketing and search algorithm. But in addition to that, I think the customer is really asking for a way to be effectively notified when new products are coming online and they get to know better. So at this stage, we definitely found reasons to solve and solutions to the problems that were very counterintuitive, very different than what we originally thought. The takeaway here is when we talk with the customers, when we hand out questionnaires, I'm sure a lot of companies do, is take the time and do a couple of extensive, in-depth personal interviews. Because through that, you might be able to notice things that are different than what the customers are telling you, than just clicking a few check marks on a questionnaire. And this will actually determine how you handle your win-back strategy. if not the whole customer success strategy. And after that, knowing that those 3 questions are the most critical that are causing our VIPs to be leaving us, and we also know the solutions, we came back with other teams to kind of evaluate their feedback and craft corporate level cohesive solutions. So here we took at the evaluation stage what we call 4R. This is not a university lecture. This is really just like our own tool that we found with our experiences to be very helpful. The first criteria that we use to measure is the reach. For example, if we are going to offer like new product newsletters to our clients, what is the reach? What is the impact that we can actually create on our VIPs? So on that, we noticed this is a request and need that exists for at least the top 5 to 10 VIPs. This is not 5% of the VIPs. This is among the top 5% of the VIPs. This is a common request. So definitely the reach we satisfy. We can definitely put a check mark on that. The new products newsletter is a go on this one. And then we took a look back at the resources. If we launch this project, what are the tools, budget, and staff and other resources that are needed and we're able to mobilize? So on this one, it seems like we definitely need a merchandise team on board to go through the new products. We also need marketing team to send out a message. And of course, a lot of communication needs to be pushed to our customer success because we are the frontier getting news around. We're the bridge to connect with the customers. And also, this is a critical question is, how is this product solution known to the customers? A lot of the times, the customers come back to us as like, this service is really good, but we don't even know it existed. So having your strategy and solution known is also very critical to your success of the win-back strategy. And the third criteria we used is called return. Yes, we can definitely do all of this for the sake of improving customer experience. But a lot of the times, even for customer success, we take on some very measurable like performance indicators. Like in our case, it definitely is customer satisfaction as well as the revenue growth. So for us, we also have to factor in financially speaking, what are the returns on this type of investment? Even though we improved our user experience, this is also a very important question to bear in mind. And the fourth is, if we can win in terms of finance, as well as we can do it with the resources that we're given. The fourth is, will this win the respect of our customers? But to put it in another way is, will other VIPs also understand and find the solution valuable? And even if they are not using the solution that we're providing right now, because not all of them are leading, but would they find this process very respectful? And with these 4 criteria in mind, we launched the solutions for the previous 3 challenges that we met, like the new product launch, newsletter, etc. And after that, when we have the solution, we went on to build a task force. This is not easy because this task force is usually cross-departmental, and usually every team take on different objectives and KPIs, etc. So bringing them on board to a larger extent already determines the results of your campaigns and solutions. So in our case, we had at least 5 departments on board. Of course, customer success is taking the lead, but we also have customer service to solve the questions, answer questions whenever it's popped up. And we have the merchandise team because a lot of the customers were providing feedback regarding the products that they receive. But we also have business intelligence. They are the brain that really peeped into what our customers are actually doing, their activeness, their behavior, their frequency, how often do they buy, what do they buy, etc. Like all data related insights are driven from this department. And of course, we have marketing. On one thing is we have to make the service and the strategy known to our users. And once they're creating APACs, we need a marketing team to maximize and really maximize the effect of a campaign to make it unknown. So this is a task force. And in the end, after we did all of that, the returns that we got is actually very fulfilling. The first is we were able to reactivate over 10% of our target customers. I don't know how many of us in the audience are engaged with win-backs and like lost customers. This 10% is not an easy battle because a lot of them are already inactive. And as we reinforced before, once a business type customer switches its solutions, it doesn't usually come back. And the second is a user experience optimization. In addition to the users that we try to win back, we also kind of spread a word around all the VIPs that we're responsible for. And they kind of went through the process, for example, the newsletter and the other educational webinar, etc. And we received really positive feedback. So within a very short term, even though they may not participate in every single activity or event that you hold, but they get an idea. They know everything. So we really saw improved user experience and feedback. And the third is definitely word of mouth. Even in wholesale industry, part of our business to rely on word of mouth. In the world, usually among the clients. So this actually sparked a new way to generate leads, etc. And we have increased awareness among our VIP customers. So this is not an easy journey, and especially for a smaller team of less than 10 people. But with these three results, we were very, very happy and fulfilling. And that's why we hope to share the experience with this pandemic. Is we defined who we're going to go first. And we researched about their needs and really looked into what they're saying and what they mean. And then we evaluated the approaches and the solutions, how much it costs, how much it would make. Is it a reputable and respectful solution? And we built the task force. And with that, we were able to rebuild the trust through strong implementation. So the final tip is the roadmap. What happened to the roadmap of the customer journey? Well, it actually varies from company to company. And you can see this roadmap drawn from a simple 5-step to a comprehensive, like a 9-grid or 12-grid matrix. But over here, because we're very different in nature among businesses, this 3-step cycle is actually a very simplified but useful version for my company and my team to identify the customer's journey. It usually, if nothing goes wrong with a customer, they will stay at their retention stage for a long time. However, if something happens and we have to win them back, then it's really time for us to show resolution, our appreciation, a strong execution to bring them back into the customer's life cycle and journey. And after we retain it for a while, the trust is already there. That is the time we use growth, the incentives of coupons, activities, promotion, etc. And these three, the pillars, they actually really rely on each other. For example, if you don't have a retained customer, it's very hard to incentivize them with coupons or discounts, especially for businesses, simply because trust is not there. And if you only win them with incentives, discounts, price incentives, they actually wouldn't stay long because in the end, they're businesses and their decisions are based on very rational reasons. If they're not happy with the services, they would still want to leave. And if when they leave and you don't save them, they cannot be retained and forever a loss is caused to the platform. So these are the three pillars that we find very useful and simple. Whenever we have a customer, in addition to looking at their VIP levels, our team will also take a dive into its behaviors, transactions, to kind of pinpoint where roughly in these three pillars and stage this customer falls on. And that gives us guidance on how to approach them, the messaging. So this is kind of our roadmap, very simple 3-step. So at the end is our $1 million takeaways, because literally by implementing these, we were able to retrieve and generate revenues of multi-millions. The first is, this is our understanding of customer success, which is the customers to achieve their objectives better with us. And here the customers, we, in addition to understand who we are, the profiling, which everybody knows, we really pay attention to their behavior and their activeness and their contribution level. Those three are all very important, equally important. And the second is achieve their objectives. A lot of the times we think we know who they are, but we actually don't know what their business is about, how they make money, what do they care. Knowing this is critical for us to define their success journey. And the third is to achieve their objectives better. So what contributes to their business success? How can they improve? What do they need to improve? And the fourth is definitely with us. So when they improve their business, what is the role that we can play? We put them at the center of our decision-making and service providing. And that leads to our second point is, it's never about us. It's really about them. A lot of times we talk the talk, but we don't walk the walk. For us, a very, very, very simple example is, it'll be a mistake when we give promotions for promotion's sake, because customers don't really care about our offering and our cost in offering these incentives. What they really care is, how does this help their business thrive? It's basically the same thing, but this mindset change will impact a lot. And the third is, for a B2B customer, the journey is not a smooth ride up. So just be prepared and accept it as it happens when a customer going through the downhills. And the fourth is, please segment your customers in different dimensions. The VIP level, their past revenue contribution is only one side of the story. Take a look in other dimensions, and the results might really surprise you. And the final one is to improve on the customer experience. On how it is not a bad idea when you go to the customers that raises their concerns. Our happiest customers are our greatest allies. But when we want to listen to area of improvements, these are the customers to go to. We got really valuable insights from our own little journey. So to conclude, I would just like to use a part of the speech from the CEO of DHgate. She said on one meeting that though no business is perfect, a business may not have all the features, but you can inspire customers' loyalty by aggressively supporting customer success, particularly for wholesalers. When they love working with you and they feel like you're investing in their success, they will commit for the long term. And with that, I would like to conclude this session. Thank you so very much. Again, my name is Sarah. You can reach me at my email or on LinkedIn. Yeah, looking forward to discussing and meeting all of the people in the audience. Thank you again.
Thank you, Sarah. It was a brilliant presentation. I can see a lot of people are saying good things. Thank you, David. Thank you, Kirby. Thank you, Talita and Rick. It's wonderful. Let's quickly address the question earlier from Kirby, shall we?
Yes, let me take a look back. Kirby asked, it would be great to understand your experience on what impacts these ups and downs in a customer success roadmap. Okay, let's go back. On this one. Okay. I think there are a couple of answers to this. The first is, it's just a natural ups and downs. I totally believe that this kind of feels like a relationship thing. When you start to see your significant other, it sometimes is not all the way up. There are times that are slower, sometimes faster. So this is like a natural curve. However, what really determines the downs, especially on the last part where they try to leave, this is where things really raise a red flag. For us, a lot of the thing is in total, like we said, product, price, and service are usually what determines a business client's decision whether or not to stay with us. So there might be internally our price is getting too high and is not really matching the products or the functions that they really need. We're not helping them to succeed, and they are starting to realize that. And the third reason is kind of we have competitors that are arising that probably are stealing and edging in and stealing your customers away, because business clients, they really stay for rational comparison. It's not an end consumer where I love a brand, I might stay for the spirit of it, but rarely so for business clients. So I will conclude by, first, it's a natural curve. If it's not huge dumps, don't feel too worried about it. It happens to everyone. And the second is, for business clients, it's usually the product and the services. We can take a look at internally what is going on. Maybe there is a conflict, misalignment of interest that you're having with your client, or he is buying other type of services because they find a better match there. I don't know if that helps answering your question, Kirby.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Karen, Jeff, William. Great presentation, Sarah. It's very insightful. Thank you, Elaine, Zoe, Kirby, everyone tuning in. We got another question here from Pei-Shan. He or she was wondering, what are your KPIs to determine success?
That is a very question. I think that was actually a question my boss gave it to me as well. Well, in all, it depends on the team. But back for us, we took on at least two tasks. The purpose of my team's existence is, number one, to improve customer satisfaction. So there is a couple of metrics that can measure customer satisfaction. Number one is, of course, we do surveys and customer reviews where they can definitely select how satisfied they are, so we can see the improvement. But also there are other type of behaviors that we can monitor that determines like our success. So our success is when they are successful. When wholesalers, they are successful with their businesses, they buy more products to sell more. So we can track that by identifying if they are buying more, if they are buying more frequently, and also their interactions. Are they seeing more options? Basically, those are the three criteria that we use to kind of determine if our help was valuable to the customers. Because if they do find it valuable, you can definitely see differences in these three metrics.
Of course. Here's a follow-up question coming up from Talita. So they have both B2B and B2C customers. Do you think those KPIs that you just mentioned should be measured differently, or perhaps the same way or similar way?
That is a very, very good question. So for Talita, on DHgate, we actually have business and individual clients like as well. But in terms of metrics, frankly speaking, we didn't use that big of a difference, different metrics, because in the end, it's what I said, like revenue, customer satisfaction, their frequency, etc. But what really separate the B2B and B2C business apart is kind of how we approach them. For example, a very, very apparent difference is B2B, they need, for example, for one single product, even if you sell one single product to B2B and B2C client, for B2B, they will want to know the hardcore features, price down, and like breakdown. And if you include like how it is ranking on Google Trends, they're all over for it. For B2C, you take it a more romantic approach. So you get to know them, how it improves their lives, and this is a new brand, trustworthy, etc. So kind of see how you approach B2B and B2C clients are different. But only it's because when we treat them differently in the way that they want, we are able to get the results that can be measured in similar manner, which is the customer satisfaction, their revenue generation, and their frequency and other behavior engagement metrics.
Yeah, I think Talita agree here. They're more technical, just as you mentioned. We got time for two more questions, one for Karen, one for Everest. So Karen's wondering, could you give a high level of CS engagement for low-tier customers versus strategic client if there's only one CSM in charge of the entire APAC region in a startup environment?
Very high level for us. Like we mentioned, my team handles the VIP, but we also handle lower tier customers as well. For us, the difference is kind of And to level of personalization can you go with the clients? So for the really big strategic, of course, you have to be really personal to get down to the in and out about the client. But for lower tier, usually we can take a more general approach. It doesn't mean that there's no personalization. It just means that we are able to group a lot of the behaviors and send out communications as well. So it's basically, I think, for a Sparta environment, you can still do that, but allocate your time and resource wisely. And on how to allocate that, and if you want to use revenue contribution as a metric, we can go back to that equation that we use, is to divide your customers up and kind of see who needs more attention and who don't.
Thank you. Is there a slides that you want to share? Or?
Yeah, this one.
Good. Karen, please take a look and maybe take a screenshot if you want it. I was wondering how to keep the team spirit up in case the retention strategy is sound and solid, but the customer still leaves. Not to mention management teams hinting a waste of resources solely based on the results.
I think there are two ways. Number one is to build a proper expectation. Even though we feel like we had a solid strategy as well, we were not able to win 100% of all the lost customers back. It's just simply impossible because they leave for various reasons as well. So number one is, even when you have a really great strategy, set your expectations. You're not going to win all of them back. And the second is, in addition to win back the lost customers, which has a very direct revenue-related impact, it also has a lot of other indirect impact. When your other clients are aware that you're doing this to save customers and to improve experiences, their loyalty, their retention, and their frequency improves. And this is through a very fast word of mouth, probably faster than you can imagine. And these are usually the impacts that cannot be measured, but should be really cherished and appreciated by the company.
Got it. Thank you, Sarah. I think I have to call it off today because it's only 15 minutes to our next session. Again, it was a wonderful presentation from you, Sarah, and then thank you for everyone who's tuning in. I know that people are still asking questions, but I think it might be better if you can all join the community day here. I just posted a link here, and then also reach out to Sarah via LinkedIn for follow-up conversations and other questions. Okay? Yep.
Alrighty. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'll see you all in next sessions and the rest of the festival.
Alrighty, definitely. See you guys.
See you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.